All right, welcome to the programme. I'm Lorenzo, live in Atlanta for you this evening. The UK went to the polls yesterday to elect members of Parliament. Joining me from Atlanta is Brandon Holt, joining me in the studio. Brandon, an amazing night, maybe not for some, but overall a historic night for the UK when they went to the polls yesterday. A very bad lead for the Conservatives. This was a vote called on for by Theresa May to essentially boost her power in Parliament. What do you make of the election and the results of this election? Because we know that neither party, Conservatives nor the Labour Party, gained the majority within Parliament. So let's just talk about that. I want to hear your analysis on that. What do you make of that?
It was a great night and a bad night for the Conservatives at the same time. Overall, nationally, not the best, especially for Theresa May, considering that she called the snap election for the sole purpose of gaining a widespread mandate for the Brexit negotiations, and that, safe to say, failed miserably. Even though the Conservatives will still retain their control in the House of Commons, they actually now lost their majority, leaving them with only 318 seats and 326 to govern. The only upside, of course, are two things, and you can find them in Northern Ireland and Scotland. In Scotland, it was a good night for the Conservatives, especially Conservative leader Ruth Davidson, as they flipped a lot of seats that were previously unexpected from the Scottish National Parliament, SNP, and made a sizable amount, even if they no longer control. Even if the Conservative Party picked up a lot of SNP seats in Scotland, even if they didn't control a majority, and this goes back to the overall picture of last night, they made significant in-grounds in Scotland. The Conservative Party will still be able to govern with DUP in a coalition government, but it's no longer that strong mandate and the outright majority that the Conservatives enjoyed over the past year.
Right, and let's talk about the new party. We know no one won the majority of the vote in Parliament, so Miss May is now leading a minority party, which would now be the Tories and the DUP now in control of Parliament. However, the Conservatives, as you mentioned, do have the largest seats in Parliament, as well as do the Labours. So what do you see this new controlling party in Parliament doing?
Now that the coalition government's in power, it should be a resumed speed, considering that the DUP is also strongly in favor of the Brexit negotiations and a hard withdrawal from the European Union, which that section generally was in favor of. So even though it's clearly a sign that the UK is moving in a different direction, they have a large enough coalition where they can still continue talks as they previously did.
Right, and the last point I want to get to, Brandon, is, Prime Minister May called the snap election as a result of Brexit, and she really thought that she would get the vote, her party would win. Clearly that wasn't the case. And Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the Labour Party, has been calling for her resignation. However, she did keep her seat in Parliament, as did Corbyn and some other people in the party. I believe we have a graphic of that. But this was called on by Prime Minister May herself, and of course she thought that she could win. Clearly that wasn't the case. Now several people want her to resign. Do you believe that she will resign, and where do you see the government going from here?
I don't think that she will, but there's definitely going to be significant pressure in between now and the 2020 election for her to do just that.
Brennan Holt, thank you so much for that, joining me in studio in Atlanta. Thank you. And we certainly will keep up with the results and continue to follow the results of this election in the UK. Live from Atlanta, I'm Lorenzo. Thank you so much for joining me.